Welcome back to the Mystery Creek Field Days. We're here in Hamilton. It's been an outstanding week. And this week, your commentator Phil Ropaha and I have been bringing you the STIHL Timbersports. Now, Phil, what is so important about today in the grand scheme of things?
Well, this is our first National Men's Championship for STIHL Timbersports. And why it's so important is that when you consider that New Zealand is the greatest timber sports nation on earth, with 9 individual titles, 5 teams titles, now a rookies title as well, and a Champions Trophy title, there is no other country that comes close to New Zealand. But we don't have the 2 big titles, the individual and teams, right now. We need to get them back. What we have on stage here today is where we pick our champions from, and they will go to Prague a little bit later in the year, hold up our honour and get those titles back.
And we have had a wonderful last 2 days here. The athletes have certainly been on form. We saw amazing Darcel take out the women's national title, and then yesterday Jack was just fantastic for the rookie. But today it is the men's, it is the elite event, and as Phil has just said, the man who wins today will be representing New Zealand at Prague. So who is in the lineup?
Well, I tell you what, you could throw a blanket over them really in how tight the competition is going to be. Trying to pick a winner, I was thinking about it last night, was getting more difficult as the night went on. But you've really got to look at the experience of Shane Jordan. We saw him in the Champions Trophy here last year, really just get tipped out, and I think he had the form. Jesse Whitehead's just come back from the Champions Trophy. He's really got some good experience and form now. But there's a little bit from the outside, I'm thinking Kahu Woolley from Taumananui. Tell you what, he's been doing a lot of the sport in Australia, haven't seen so much of him here, but he's a big lad and I think he could do very well. So it's going to be hard to pick, but if you want me to put someone on, I'm going to say Shane Jordan.
Well, you did pick Shane's younger brother Jack yesterday to win the rookie, and you were right on the money, so I think I'm going with you. Well, here it is. It's all about to get underway. We're going to find out who will be crowned the men's elite national STIHL Timbersports champion. And this is what happens behind the scenes. Here's the shoot where the athletes come down and then appear on the stage with all the public waiting and watching. Now, they've currently got a bit of a safety briefing going on because, of course, there's so many regulations in the sport which everyone must listen to. There's a lot of rules as well about this because everyone's got to be safe. But it's all about the competition at the end of the day, because one of these men right here behind me is going to take out that title. And that title means they're going to be able to represent New Zealand at the STIHL Timbersports World Championships in Prague.
So Bobby Dowling on the left-hand side on stand 1 from Tuatapere in Southland. In the grey strip, Jeff Hockard on 2 on the right-hand side as you look from the main grandstand. From Blenheim in the purple strip. So these blocks will be severed from both sides. We're looking for fastest times, but we're also looking for the best placings as we amalgamate them as the day's event goes through. This is discipline number 1.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Absolutely neck and neck with the first blows going into the front side of the block as they open up the first scarf. What they're doing is they're opening up the top of the block first so that they can hit the bottom first on the turn. Jeff Hockard very close behind him, Bobby Dowling. Have they done enough work on the front? Because it depends on their game plan as to how they do it. At the moment, Bobby Dowling looks like he's made up a bit of ground coming through to the centre now. Is he going to get his drivers in first? And he does.
Both cuts were good.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bobby Dowling, victorious in the first match race here in the STIHL Timbersports Underhand competition. The man from Tuatapere. Now, look clean. You had a game plan. How many hits front and rear did you have in mind, and how many actually happened?
Oh, best case scenario, I was thinking 10 and 10. I think it was more like about 12 and 12. So would have been nice to get it, say 11-11, something like that. But rusty, but hey, it come off first, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, it looked good. So you've already got 1 chalked up. Well done. Bobby Dowling, everyone. Right, let's get ready for heat number 2. In the underhand, we welcome to the stage Jesse Whitehead and Chris Lord. Now, these 2 young competitors here have just come back from a sojourn in Gothenburg, Sweden, as they represented New Zealand in the Champions Trophy. For Jesse Whitehead, and the Rookie World Championship for Chris Lord. Both did very well, but we have to acknowledge that Chris Lord on stand number 2 in the green is the current world champion rookie. The first time for New Zealand, a great honour indeed.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So it's Jesse from Waiuku up against Chris from Otorohanga. Let's have a look as they go through the front side of the block. Working away as the first on the turn, it's Chris Lord showing some good form coming out of Sweden. But here comes Jesse Whitehead. He was the flyer last year in the Champions Trophy here. But at the moment, it's looking like Chris Lord comes back towards the centre. I think that work he's done in Sweden is counted, and Jesse Whitehead just finishes out.
Both cuts were good.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm with Chris Lord, Otorohanga. Now, you've been in the big competition in Sweden. You've come into this national championship for the first time. Did that experience help you with what you've just achieved now?
I guess so. Yeah, it's sort of a bit of a different competition. Coming back home, chopping against a lot of guys you sort of looked up to growing up. So yeah, glad to get a win there.
Right, ready for heat number 3. We welcome to the stage from Taumaranui, Kahuvuli, and from Waiuku, Nathan McDonald. So the time to beat set by Chris Lord in the last heat of 21.25. Won his match races, set the benchmark. Kahuvuli on stand number 1 in the dark strip. Nathan McDonald on the right-hand side in the red.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So keep an eye on those clocks to see whether these two can make the difference. Kahuvuli, little bit of a stick early on, may give Nathan McDonald a little bit of an advantage because we're talking hundreds of seconds. But just as we said it, Nathan McDonald with the same affliction, both turning onto the back around about the same time. Opening up that scarf, the chips of that poplar absolutely flying. It's going to be close, but Kahuwuli's done the job. Splits it in 2 as Nathan McDonald just manages to get them apart now.
Both cuts were good.
Kahu, you've come over from Australia to compete in the STIHL Timbersport series, and it's actually your first STIHL Timbersport series.
Yeah, that's right. I've been cutting for about 25 years, but this is the first time I've been a part of the STIHL Timbersport series.
And normally you have a couple of really strong disciplines that you've won a lot in. What are those?
Standing block and single-handed soaring. I won some fairly big championships in those 2 events.
So in this series, you've obviously got to compete across the 6 different disciplines. Is that quite different? And how do you attack a competition like this, knowing that you've got to get your head into 6 different disciplines?
I like to class myself as a bit of an all-rounder anyway, so I think this probably style or format might suit me. And I guess we just train by doing all the disciplines at home individually to try and get used to them all.
Do you end up spending more time training on your least favourite disciplines so you can become stronger in those?
I think that's fairly logical. You should really work on your weak points. I've been trying to bring my springboard up. I'm not really built to go up the tree, so that's going to be interesting today for me.
I'll tell you what, Kahu, we can't wait to see you in action.
I can't wait to get into it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's welcome to the stage for heat number 4 in the underhand competition from Stratford, Shane Jordan, and from Rotorua, Kyle Lemon.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So the time to beat so far is at 21.25 put in by Chris Lord, but watch these 2 guys go. Look at the speed of the cadence from Kyle Lemon on the right-hand side in the blue, but it's Shane Jordan first on the turn, but you won't see a quicker transition front to back as you've seen from Kyle Lemon with that jump turn. Right, the pressure is on now as they go through for the drivers, and it's Kyle Lemon. He likes the underhand, he does, and he's just got the wood on Shane Jordan there. It wasn't by much.
Both cuts were good.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a blinder. You saw the hand go up in the air. I think that was a good shot from Kyle Lemon. Kyle, is it how you planned? Is that as good as you can cut?
No, you can always cut better. My I made a few technical errors there, a few sticks, missed my lines. At the end of the day, I got the win, so pretty happy with that.
And in the underhand, Kyle Lemon took away first with 19.55 seconds, Shane Jordan in second, and Chris Lord, our rookie, in third.
Looks like we're ready to go. So the way this event works is they will start the saw and warm it up, and it will be left idling on the ground. They pick the saw up, they make 2 cuts, one down, one up. They may only cut into the block by 10 centimetres for those 2 discs. Go over the line, it is a disqualification. For the sawing events, we're using Pinus Radiata. In our first heat, from Blenheim, Jeff Hockard, and he will be up against Kahu Woolley from Taumaranui.
Athletes ready. Start your saws.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
And so a very good pick up there from Jeff Hockard. He might have had the opening opportunity to put that first disc down. Who's going to be first down? Absolutely almost neck and neck, but looking at Jeff Hockard, might be a bit tight on the second disc. Kahu Woolley goes through the top, makes the honours.
Both cuts were good.
Now, the stock saw competition, Kahu, a little bit different from the traditional events. How do you actually prepare for something like this?
Yeah, good question. The way I did it this year is when we were out getting training blocks in the bush, the tree that had fallen over, I used to just practice on the stump.
Okay, getting ready now for heat number 2 in the stock saw competition in the men's elite. STIHL Timbersports, welcome to the stage Jesse Whitehead from Waiuku and Bobby Dowling from Tuatapere.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So a good pickup by Bobby Dowling, but Jesse Whitehead looks like he's pretty slick as 91cc of pure power finds its way through the first disc. Both come out neck and neck, and a good transition from both. It's going to be close. Jesse Whitehead using all of the bar, but it's going to be Bobby Dowling, the Southlander. Looks like he's managed to do it.
Both cuts were good.
Bobby, for everyone watching at home, that's a very fast-paced discipline, but there's a lot of precision and concentration in there. What is going through your mind to pull off a win with that skill?
It's a lot of it's just about identifying the sound, the quality sound of when the saw's at its optimum level. You don't want to run it too heavy, you don't want to run it too light, and then the rest of it's getting to the wood as quick as you can with the thickness of disc that you want. It's thin to win, but if you cut too thin, you're going to break out, and getting that transition right on that second cut is absolutely crucial. Yeah.
Is it difficult to focus in on your saw when there's another one going behind you and you've got your earmuffs on as well?
Yeah, definitely. I did find myself probably a bit too distracted in that one. For a second I was listening to Jesse's saw rather than mine, and then I just refocused before my transition and settled back in, and was pretty happy with my upcut, yeah.
Well, a true athlete, Bobby, you pulled it off well done.
Thank you very much, cheers.
Right, let's get our heat number 3 contestants up on the stage. From Waiuku, it is Nathan McDonald, and he will be up against the 2019 rookie champion from Otorohanga, Chris Lord.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So it's Nathan McDonald in the red up against Chris Lord in the green as they take the first disc down, cutting through. Nathan McDonald looks like he's cutting well, but they come through absolutely neck and neck into the transition. Up through, balancing the power against the drag and the log, and it looks like they're going to come through very close. Very, very close.
Both cuts were good.
Chris, there really wasn't much in that. Did it all go to plan?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I was sort of a bit jumpy on the start, but yeah, once got in, got the saw running, and it went not too bad, yeah.
So hopefully some very valuable points earned.
Yeah, hopefully that's the plan. Just pick up points, and then at the end of the day, hopefully top 6, and then into the hot saw.
Well done, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, ready now for heat number 4 in the stock saw competition. The time to beat so far, Bobby Dowling with a 13.33. Let's see if these two can do it. From Stratford, Shane Jordan. And from Rotorua, Kyle Lemon.
3, 2, 1, go!
So Kyle Lemon in the blue, Shane Jordan in the teal as they get a good snatch, pick the saw up and go through the first disc. And it's going to be Kyle Lemon slightly, but he's made a mash of the transition. It's going to give Shane Jordan the chance to pick it up. Kyle needs to make that cut as quick as he can to record the fastest that's left on the floor.
We've got a good cut on stand 1, DQ on 2. He's cut over the line.
Shane Jordan from Stratford, everyone. Now they say with the stock saw, it's a very, very hard event to win, but it's an extraordinarily easy event to lose. How do you prepare for this type of event?
Oh, you just got to train enough where everything comes natural. You got to eliminate the amount of wood you've got, so when you come here you feel like you got a lot of wood to use, and yeah, it's just a matter of training and making sure you do everything perfect and yeah, repetition.
In the stock saw, Shane Jordan took away first with a time of 12.95 seconds, Bobby Dowling second and Chris Lord third.
Earlier this morning a draw was done. Each competitor has to make do with the block he has. So he's been across it, he's marked his centres, he's looked to see where the difficult wood is in the knots and either moved them away from where he will be making his cuts or moved it into a position where it is easy to dispatch. As opposed to springboard or underhand where your footing positions are restricted, they have the entire stage to be able to belt that block as hard as they can.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So away they go. Jeff Hoggard first into the wood, a left hand and a righty up here on the stage. Bobby Dowling in the grey on the right hand side. Cutting at the front, works round, but Jeff Hoggard is first on the turn. Bobby Dowling catches up, the uppercuts go in. Starting to clear away on the far side, but at the moment Jeff Hoggard hasn't done enough on his front side to make it easy. He puts her a driver, but he's sticking. It's Bobby Dowling, he's now putting in the heavyweight, but it is Jeff Hoggard, he's done the business. Bobby Dowling, a little bit of a slam, but it doesn't hold him down to record his final time.
Both cuts were good.
Jeff, that was pretty efficient out there, obviously standing one of your favourite events.
It's one of my preferred ones, yes.
And it all went to plan out there?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well done, we look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Thank you.
So the time to be recorded by Jeff Hoggard of Blenheim is 24:09 as we head into the second heat, and I tell you what, this is a mouth-watering lineup if ever I've seen it. So welcome to the stage from Rotorua, Kyle Lemon, and he will be up against from Waiuku, Jesse Whitehead.
3, 2, 1, go!
And so both away to a start, little bit of a stick to start there for Kyle Lemon. He's cutting low on the block. Obviously there's some difficult wood up higher. At the moment, Jesse Whitehead making short work and cutting cleanly. Both on the turn around about the same time. First of the upper blows goes in from Kyle Lemon. Jesse Whitehead now putting in the effort. Has he done enough work on the front, Kyle Lemon, because it looks a little bit stronger on Jesse Whitehead's side, and he does it too with a couple of sticks on the end on the drivers. And Kyle Lemon finishes it off.
Both cuts were good.
Got Jesse Whitehead with me from Waiuku, been doing a bit of work in Stratford from what I understand lately. Now, the special thing about Jesse's just come back from Sweden after competing in the Champions Trophy. So when you compete in the Champions Trophy, Jesse, does it have an effect on how you approach a big event like this?
It does. It was on the big stage over there, big crowd and everything, so get used to all your nerves, things like that. Slightly different format, but yeah, there's certain things you can take away from it that will help you here.
Well, I'm sure that's a good experience, and I hope it's worked well for you for today's event as well. Thank you, Jesse Whitehead, everyone. We will welcome onto the stage our next two contestants in the form of Chris Lord from Otorohanga and Nathan McDonald from Waiuku.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So it's Chris Lord in the green, Nathan McDonald in the red as they open up the first side on their standing block. It's the rookie champ up against the master from Waiuku. He's taking a lot out of the front. A slab away there for Chris Lord. Won't help at all because he's going to have to go through the top, but it's Nathan McDonald doing the work, who's first on the turn. They come out neck and neck. We're going to have a look at that slab, so there's a little bit of work here to do for the judges.
Both cuts were good.
Nathan, that went really well out there, but obviously as you travel around the world you encounter different types of wood. Does that change your game plan on the stage depending what the block is?
Yeah, definitely. We normally cut wood similar to this around New Zealand, but when we go to Australia you cut hardwood like gum and stuff, so yeah, you have to approach each block differently depending on how hard or soft it is.
Well done on that awesome time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Nathan.
Okay, getting ready for the final heat. The time to beat recorded by Nathan McDonald from Waiuku in that last bout of 17.62. Let's welcome to the stage for heat number 4 from Taumarunui, Kahuwuli and Shane Jordan from Stratford.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So Shane Jordan gets the first blow in. It is his preferred event, the standing chop. Kahuwuli, a Sawyer, but he's making good work. He's really putting the heat in. Both turn exactly the same time. Possibly a little bit more work done on the front by Shane Jordan. Kahuwuli putting it in. You can see the stand shaking, but it's Shane Jordan by a whisker.
Both cuts were good.
That was the 4th heat. This is where the quickies were. Now, Shane, I see this is your preferred discipline. Tell us why standing chop is the one that you like the most.
I've probably had the most success throughout the world in the standing block, but I just enjoy. Feels like you're cutting down a tree.
I guess there's a chance too, because I know that when you're doing springboard and underhand, you are a little bit restricted. This, I guess it's just the sheer ability to hit it as hard as you can.
Yeah, definitely. It's nothing better than hitting a block and feeling that axe cut through the wood.
So there we are, Shane Jordan, everyone.
The standing block with an excellent time of 16.82 saw Shane Jordan take away first, Nathan McDonald in second and Kahuwuli taking out third.
Now, to give you a bit of an idea, it seems as simple as cutting off one disc of wood. As you can see, they're putting in their starting cut now. Maximum of 30 centimetres. It will be measured by the judges. Those saws are something special. We were talking to Quinton Fawcett in the rookie competition. Now, he works for a company called Tuatahi Racing Axes and Saws out of Masterton, where most of the sports equipment, including the axes and saws, are made. We're using peg and raker type saws for those that know a little bit about these, but really a pioneering piece of equipment that now is just used for sport.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
And so the objective is use all the saw, keep the speed up. Now, we're not using helpers as we saw in the rookies for those that were with us yesterday. Very good speed there by Jesse Whitehead. Kyle Lemon putting the pressure down now. It gets very difficult aerobically as you go through the first half of the block. At the moment, Jesse Whitehead, little bit of a lead. Kyle Lemon putting in the muscle now. Watching the bottom of the block there for both competitors. It's going to be tight. In fact, he's made a comeback. It didn't look like it either for Kyle Lemon.
Both cuts were good.
Kyle, that looks like a very physically demanding discipline. How do you train for that?
Yeah, you've just got to do it really. Got to have a reasonably good core fitness. It tears the shit out of you. So sorry about the language.
Well, you know, we can see it written on your face that you give it everything, don't you?
Yeah, you've got to. I mean, we're here to gain some points. I had a bit of a glitch in the previous round, so I've got to try and make up a bit here somewhere.
Well, you certainly did that. Well done, Kyle.
Thank you.
Okay, now getting ready for the next heat. If we can have Chris Lord from Otorohanga and Nathan McDonald from Waiuku out on the stage. So from that first heat, we saw Kyle Lemon first to drop the disc onto the boards at 25 seconds flat. Just disregard what you saw up on the time clocks. Didn't quite reflect what we really did. Jesse Whitehead coming through with a 25.46.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So a nice clean start for both contestants. Nathan McDonald in the red, Chris Lord in the familiar green as we've seen him. Look at the pace and the speed there from Nathan McDonald on that saw. So it comes down to the weight of the blows there by Chris Lord. Can he do it? Similar situation in the last heat where we saw Kyle Levin come back with the slowest rate. But it looks to be Nathan McDonald making quick work. Chris Lord, he's got a little bit of work to do. He still needs to post the fastest time he can do. Working away, he's getting tired. It stalls in the bottom, but off it comes.
Both cuts were good.
Very good cut. Now we know the McDonald family, very good on these big saws. Have you been taking a little bit of coaching from brother David?
No, I tell him how to saw, so but yeah, David's lent me a saw, so helped me out a little bit, yeah.
It's very good. Of course, brother David, one of the champions for New Zealand, particularly at the Sydney Easter show. That looked like it went to plan. Can you think of anything that could have made it better?
Yeah, I could have sawed a little smoother, but I'm pretty happy how I went.
Excellent, Nathan McDonald. Go and get some fresh air into those lungs. Well done. So we're ready for our next two competitors to come to the stage, please. Would Shane Jordan of Stratford and Jeff Hockard of Blenheim please come to the stage for the single buck competition.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
And away they go, one with a pull, one with a push. Of course, it's the pull that usually makes the biggest amount of the noodles to come out. Slightly different technique, with low down and bended knees from Shane Jordan, Jeff Hockard coming up from on top. Both of them look about neck and neck as we view now. Who's going to be first to put the disc on the ground? And it's going to be Shane Jordan.
Both cuts were good.
Shane, not even one of your preferred disciplines, and yet you set a blistering pace out there. How did you do it?
Probably a bit of willpower.
I'd say a lot of willpower and obviously a lot of practice.
Yeah, I've done a fair bit and got a pretty good saw that's quite smooth, so that made a big difference.
Yeah, you made it look easy, I have to say, and it's not an easy discipline.
No, definitely not. It's definitely the hardest.
Well done, Shane.
Thanks.
Righto, let's get on our last two competitors. These are the quickies by seeding we need to see on the stage right now. From Tuatapere in Southland, Bobby Dowling. And from Taumarunui, Kahu Woolley.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So two very good sawyers here in the form of Bobby Dowling and Kahu Woolley. Look at the speed from Kahu Woolley. Bobby Dowling putting it down now, and he knows that he's taking the chips out by just using sheer torque. It's going to be close. I can see the saw of Kahu Woolley coming down to the bottom. It's going to be too tough for Bobby Dowling to get him. It flies across the timber.
Both cuts were good.
In the single buck, Bobby Dowling took out first place with 17.02 seconds, Kahu Woolley in second and Shane Jordan in third.
And we are now into the Springboard competition. So I would like to ask these contestants to come to the stage. From Blenheim, Jeff Hockard, and from Tuatapere, Bobby Dowling. Now the way this event works, you can see the trees that have grown out of the stage over the lunch break. If you can cast your mind back before Andreas Stihl invented the first powered chainsaw in 1926, you had to do things with axes and saws. Now if you had a tree that was mature and you needed to cut it down for lumber, the root stock at the bottom would be too tough and knotty. You had to get above it to cut into the clear wood. That is exactly what we are going to do now, and the way they do it is they cut pockets into the stem, they place springboards in, and then they climb their way to the top and actually cut the top, the clear wood down. So that's what we're doing in the Springboard competition.
3, 2, 1, go!
So the first thing each one of these competitors have to do is cut a pocket. Now ultimately you can do it in 4 blows, but they want to make sure that it is in such a position that the board will sit well. Bobby Dowling first to complete his first pocket, puts the axe into hold, puts the toe of the board into the pocket, stands up, looks like it's holding the Southlander well. Jeff Hockart gets his first board in, gets up, gives it a bit of a test. At the moment, Bobby Dowling in the grey puts the axe into the top block as he positions the second board. The toe goes in, steps up, in a little bit of motion there, but hopefully he's got enough balance to address the top. And as you can imagine, it's all about balance. Jeff Hockart still working away on his second pocket. He's got the board sitting there ready to go in. Bobby's not happy with that second board. Pops down, he's going to redo his pocket and reposition the board. It gives Jeff Hockart a chance to do a little bit of catch up here as he works on that second pocket. He wants to make sure there is no chip left in the end of it, and when you put the clip in, which is the steel bit on the toe of the board, that it sits in well. Jeff Hockart gets his axe out to start addressing the top block, tests the board. Usually they don't mind. The droop can be about 5 degrees up or down, no more than that for most comfort. Very hard to balance yourself up on the board as it goes. So here he goes, Bobby Dowling, the man from Tuatapere, up against the man from Blenheim. In the purple shirt is Jeff Hockart. He's already done some of the work on the front side of his block. You have a look, they'll take most of the wood out of the front, but they've actually got a turn. So both axemen going neck and neck. The big hits coming in from Bobby Dowling, as we would expect. He will be annoyed that he's managed to have to reposition that second board. Jeff Hockart working away. The man from Mulberry's done most of the work on the front. He doesn't want to leave too much to do on the back. Bobby Dowling's really taken some wood out of that front side. First to the turn, Jeff Hockart starts on his slashing strokes on the back, but at the moment Bobby Dowling's still working. He's trying to minimise the amount of work he has to do on the backhand. Makes the turn now, but it's Jeff Hockart all the way, putting his driver in from the far side. Bobby Dowling really starting to hit, but it's not going to be enough because Jeff Hockart has made the most of that advantage from that second board of Bobby Dowling.
Both cuts were good.
I've got Jeff Hockart with me now, victorious in this first bout in the Springboard. Now I know there's not too many have it down as their favourite discipline. Slow and steady, did you realise what was happening on the other pole, Jeff?
Oh no, I was just concentrating on my own work.
It looks like you took your time over those pockets. What's the secret to a good pocket?
Plenty of training.
Okay, ready now for heat number 2 in the Springboard. Let's welcome to the stage from Waiuku, it is Nathan McDonald. And from Taumarunui, it is Kahu Woolley.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So it's Nathan McDonald on the left in the red, Kahu Woolley in the dark strip on the right on stand number 2. First pocket completed by Nathan McDonald from Waiuku. Steps up, board looks good, holding the weight well. Little bit of a forward tilt, but it doesn't seem to hold him up. Kahu Woolley now up onto his first board again, holding the weight well, nice and level. Nathan McDonald working on that pocket on the second, lodges his axe into the top block, puts the clip into the hole, into the pocket, gives it a little bit of a test, hops up, stand, nice and level. Kahu Woolley still working on that second pocket as he cleans out the final chip. But at the moment, it's all Nathan McDonald from Waiuku. He's already onto that front side on his top block. If you can imagine, he's felling the clearwood at the top of a tall tree. He's worked his way above the buttress roots and he's giving it all he's got. Kahu Woolley now puts the clip in on his second board, gives it a bit of a test, jumps up, holding the big man's weight well. He comes up to address that top block, but at the moment, all Nathan McDonald. Time to beat so far, set by Jeff Hockart at a 2:12.57. Already onto the back using the slashing strokes from the top is Nathan McDonald. We can see the movement. Hasn't quite got it. He thought he had it on that blow or that one, but it's going to be soon. He just needs to reach round and he does it. Holds his balance just.
Both cuts were good.
Well done, Nathan. I tell you what, that is a multi-skilled discipline. What part of that was the most challenging for you?
Oh, it's mainly cutting the back off it up the top. It's like riding, left-handed if you're a right-handed person, and yeah, it's quite difficult.
You must be pretty happy with that time.
Yeah, that's the best I've ever cut, so yeah, I was pretty chuffed, yeah.
Well done, Nathan.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, ready for heat number 3 in the Springboard competition, and the gauntlet was laid down by Nathan McDonald in the last heat at 76.03 seconds. Let's see if Kyle Lemon from Rotorua or Chris Lord from Otorohanga can manage to bring that time just down a little bit further.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So the two axemen start working away. A bounce out of the pocket there for Kyle Lemon. Must be a nod inside. Both putting the clip in. Kyle Lemon and Chris Lord both up onto the springboard nice and evenly. A little bit of an advantage there to Chris Lord. Makes a very good second pocket. Minimal number of hits. Kyle Lemon now sticks the clip in on the second board. Gives it a little bit of a test. Jumps up, but at the moment, Chris Lord, the just crowned 2019 World Champion rookie. This is an event that they don't do in that competition. And of course, all the experience under the sun up against him, and Kyle Lemon from Rotorua. Kyle Lemon, board sitting level. Little bit of a drop there for Chris Lord, but it's not enough to deter him as he works away on the front side. Kyle Lemon knows he's got a chance to make some ground up now. He's got good footing. The board's holding his weight very, very well. First on the turn, Kyle Lemon goes to the back now. Chris Lord also realises he needs to make sure that he keeps the lead that he started with, but it's Kyle Lemon working in close, goes across, and it's good enough. He'll be happy with that, I can tell you now. Chris Lord not far behind, so they're both going to record good times should the cuts be good.
Both cuts were good.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've got Kyle Lemon with me, the victor in that bout. Now, we had a little bit of a chat earlier on about the springboard and how much some athletes love it, some don't like it quite so much, but you knew that you'd done something a little bit different with your boards this time. Did it make a difference?
Yeah, it appeared to. There's a little bit of technical issues with the boards I have, so I've borrowed some off Jason Wynyard today, so thank you, Jason. It just allowed a stronger hold for me.
So what part of the board has made that difference? Because obviously you've got to cut a good pocket, but when it comes to the board?
Yeah, so the top area here, it's called the clip. For those that can see, it's quite flat across here. Just allows for a little bit more bite into the tree.
Well, thank you, Kyle. I think you should be happy with that. We are, so good luck for the rest of the day. Okay, getting ready now for Heat 4 in the Springboard competition. Kyle Lemon lowered the gauntlet even more at 64.69. Let's see what these next two contestants can do. Welcome back to the stage from Stratford, Shane Jordan, and from Waiuku, Jesse Whitehead.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So it's Jesse Whitehead on the right on stand 2 in the beige top. Shane Jordan in the teal on 1. First one, pocket in. Shane Jordan bangs the springboard in. Not far behind Jesse Whitehead, and he loves this competition too. So Shane Jordan's got a great challenge in front of him here as he holds a tentative lead as we watch. Takes another look inside the pocket. He wants to make sure that the back is clear so that clip that Kyle Lemon described to us fits nice and tightly. Okay, a little bit of a change in the procession now. Jesse Whitehead's caught up that slight disadvantage, but both of our axemen are up onto the top block now, clearing out that clear wood. There's where the heavy hitters come in. They've got good balance on the springboard. Shane Jordan, a little bit of a lift up at the backs, giving him really good footing. Just a little bit of movement in the springboard there for Jesse Whitehead, but he's making good time as he clears out, taking as much wood out of the front of that block as he can. Makes first to the turn. Jesse Whitehead. Shane Jordan now realises he needs to make the turn, pushes in the strokes from the back. Has he done enough in the front to be able to catch Jesse Whitehead? And I think he has. He's done very well. The specialist has just been put away in this final heat. Oh, great action, ladies and gentlemen.
Both cuts were good.
Shane, that was really impressive to watch. You took a little bit more time with that second pocket, but it seemed to pay off because the power, you could hit that with cack-handed, was almost as good as your true weight.
I was pretty frustrated by then, so yeah, it was probably more frustration than anything.
So those sort of last few drivers you put in there, it looked like every single hit was a driver. Was that what was going through your mind? I've just got to smack this thing off?
Yeah, it needed to come off as quick as it could, and yeah, lucky to come away with a win.
Well, I tell you what, you did it well done. It was amazing to watch.
Thanks very much.
In the springboard, Shane Jordan took away first with a time of just over 1 minute, Kyle Lemon hot on his tail in second, and Jesse Whitehead third.
There's only one thing these machines do, and that is race. So the objective, once the saws are warmed up, they will be stopped. They will rewind the starter. On the go, they will start the machine, lift it, make the first cut down, second up, second down. 460 millimetre log, 19 inches in the old currency. But they have to make 3 clean cuts. They can only cut inwards of 150 mil. Any further than that, disqualification. Now there are double points on this round, so this is very, very important. It can make or break the total result for each one of our athletes. So the saw comes out. Jesse Whitehead from Waiuku. First out onto the stage.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
And it's a nice start, and it's coming down through the first cut now. Jesse Whitehead, he's nice and clean on the transition. And straight down, hands onto that big saw. Through it goes, stops the clock. Just a shade, possibly under 11 seconds. Good start, clean snatch. Good start, came up. We'll check the discs, make sure they're good.
Jesse's cut was good.
So there you have it, the Rotax 250 chainsaw. Rotax started life as a snowmobile engine. Clean start. You need to record a time in this, and of course it needs to start first time every time. Next up, from Tuatapere in Southland, it'll be Bobby Dowling.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, sometimes it's just not going to be your day, is it, folks? So next up on the 250cc Rotax from Otorohanga, it is the 2019 World Champion in STIHL Timbersports rookies, Chris Lord.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So it's a clean start by Chris Lord. You see Rotax comes through the first 9 clean. Oh, and a bit of a fumble on the transition, but he's making up ground now. Doesn't look too bad. Comes through the top. A reasonable transition, a little bit too much here, but it's going to be good enough to put 3 down. He leans down, turns the saw off. The important thing, a time has been recorded. So next up in the heat in the hot saw competition here at STIHL Timbersports, Nathan McDonald from Waiuku with the 250 Honda, Rotax powered machine rather. Just comes down, marks up where he wants to make the cuts.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So it's a clean start by Nathan McDonald who wins the saw. Goes down first, this was a nice clean one. Excellent transition into the bottom up. Just the saw down, of course the important bit is getting a time recorded.
Nathan's cut was good.
So coming up to the stage now from Taumaranui, it's Kahu Woolley. Saw we're looking at here, Honda powered. Just on the notes, I've got a Honda 260. It's Kahu Woolley's saw.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
That's a good start. Well done, Kahu. It's unfortunate. Just one of those things when you get to timber sports or even motorsport as we're looking at now. Sometimes things just happen to confound us. So our next contestant coming to the stage from Stratford, it is Shane Jordan. Now, one of the bigger machines, it's a Honda, but it's a CR, was a 250 bought out, oversized 300cc. Now, to give you a little bit of an idea, some of these saws can weigh 30 kilos. So it's a very big weight to get up off the ground after starting to complete the cuts. They can only run for a certain amount of time. There is no cooling system on these machines. They are, as I've mentioned before, a bespoke design.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Now let's have a look. Let's check the discs.
Shane's cut was good.
So that Honda 300 of Shane Jordan proving its worth today. Looking at that second disc, looked very fine, but it obviously made the full circumference, which is the important bit.
Shane, that was absolutely spectacular. You know, they saved the best for last. But tell everyone at home, how difficult is that discipline?
Oh, it's crazy. Like the weeks beforehand with it, saws playing up and then the cracked pipes, like on the way up here, I had to get it welded and it's just hoping it was going to hold together for, that cut.
And you managed to do that in sub 8 seconds. I mean, what was going through your mind? Was anything?
I was doing everything properly and I was pretty thin on one wheel, so I was, a bit worried about that.
Well done. I tell you what, it's been a wonderful to watch you be so strong in all 6 disciplines. In fact, by my calculations, you're the only contestant that's placed in all 6. So you certainly are quite an all-rounder.
Yeah, no, I did my homework and I'm really happy it all paid off.
Well, congratulations, it certainly has.
Thank you.
And the New Zealand Men's Championships saw Nathan McDonald with the bronze medal, Jesse Whitehead with silver, and Shane Jordan with 81 points taking away the gold.
Shane, that was incredible. You featured on the podium basically for every single discipline and then right at the end, gold. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm pretty wrapped, eh? First got involved in timber sports in 2010 and it's been almost a decade to get a win here, so really happy.
Well, you've had wonderful Jason Wynyard, who's been winning pretty consistently all around the world. So how does it feel now to be definitely right up there in his shoes?
Oh, it's great. Sort of disappointed he wasn't competing, but he's had his own, issues with injuries and that. So, if he was competing and to beat him would have been, a great feat. But it is what it is, and
And like so many Kiwis who are high up in sport, you've also got a job to worry about. So how much time actually do you fit into to set aside for training?
Oh, this has probably been since the start of the year. We've sort of been working towards this, sort of not so much early on because Sydney show and that work, but it's still wood chopping. And then, leading up to it, sort of we've been, pretty flat out with trying to get everything sorted, training every night, and then sorting hot saws out and getting crosscut saws from Australia and trying them in the wood and just, going through all the disciplines really.
And obviously now the big focus is going to be Prague, and they're winning back that world title for us Kiwis. A lot of pressure on your shoulders there. So what does it look like now for you between now and Prague?
I think it's only just begun. So, it'll be a fair bit of hard work now. It'll be getting a lot of blocks and sorting out a new hot saw hopefully, and a lot of training.
One thing I've noticed about you Jordan brothers, Jack and yourself, you're very disciplined and incredibly focused. What is it about your family that's created that?
I think to win, you have to be. I think, we started off and sort of watched the likes of Jason Wynyard and David Bolstead and, we sort of idolised them and, followed what they did and, and you have to be with sport. You have to be, so focused on what you're doing, otherwise you're not going to win.
And do you get a chance to celebrate tonight?
Oh, to be head home and, catch up with the wife and kids, so
Well, big celebration then. Congratulations, Shane. You were an absolute pleasure to watch.
Hey, thanks very much.
Well, what an incredible week that was, Phil. We're sitting on the podium in the gold spot. I think we're sitting because we're exhausted, but only exhausted because it has been so much excitement watching our wonderful athletes take out top honours. And I tell you what, you picked it again. Shane took it out today.
He did, and we looked at that form last night, and I know that really Shane, I think, has been wanting to have this result for a long time, and it's taken us till now to have our own championship in New Zealand for STIHL Timbersports, because as I've said, New Zealand is best on earth at this game, and Shane Jordan with Jason Wynyard out has been given his chance to shine. We saw his form today. I don't think we've got any risk of being in any trouble when we get to Prague in the Czech Republic at the end of October. I think we've got as good a chance as ever of taking another world title, and if we can, that'll be 10 in the bag for New Zealand.
Well, you said it right from the start, Phil. That is our goal here, is to get a team and an individual athlete that can go and claim back what is rightfully ours. We've won it so many times, we need to get into the double digits, don't we? And it has been a wonderful week. But I tell you what, the pressure's certainly on for him.
I think the pressure is certainly on, but it's great to see that we've got that depth there. Okay, we said we've got the depth with the rookies, and certainly younger brother Jack Jordan yesterday proving that is the case. Really, I think we're in a very good way, and of course we have to select a team as well, because the other trophy we want to get is the team's trophy in STIHL Timbersports, the World Championship again, and we certainly don't want to hand it all over to the Australians like we did last year. Our turn to get it back.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us in our coverage of the STIHL Timbersports. We've enjoyed bringing it to you right here from Field Days, and we'll make sure we look forward to seeing you again next year.